All right, still got a few people hopping on here, so got about 2 more minutes, and we'll get this rolling.
I hope the lighting's okay, Mark. Our new peer ripped the blinds out the window. Literally. I mean, they're in tatters. So we
All right, I got 1 o'clock straight up, so let's get this show on the road. Welcome, everyone. Appreciate you all being here for your happy half hour this Friday. We have some guests with us. My name is Mark Sondergaard. I'm the Director of Partner Sales here at BullsEye. I've been hosting most of these on Fridays. We also have Chris Otenbaker, VP of Strategic Accounts, with us today. He will probably join in and ask some questions or add something to this as we go along. And our featured speaker, as it has been for the last few weeks, is Mark Noland, sales engineer extraordinaire. And what we're going to do today is we've been having these for quite a few weeks, as you know, and we've talked about different subjects. And during that, we gave you all these different things you can do and kind of how they start fitting together. But today, Mark is going to take everything we've talked about, bring it all together, and show you how all the things that we've talked about now fit and give you the ability to fully take care of your customers. So, Mark, I'm going to give it to you. Let's take it away.
Awesome, thanks. Hey guys, so some of the stuff we've talked about so far, not necessarily in any particular order, but we've talked about cloud computing, we've talked about VoIP, we've talked about SD-WAN, we've talked about Teams, we've talked about what was the other thing we talked about? Cloud, Teams, security. Security was a big thing. So we've kind of done all these talks over the last few weeks, and on their own, they're really important. But what they do is add up to kind of a solution for those of us that are either working from home now or are, going to continue to work from home, even when all this crazy stuff is over and a lot of people are going back to offices. And so, for the first few weeks, everybody's kind of tried to get by with what they had on hand, and learning to use new things, and that's cool and it works. But as we're going forward, maybe this is a time where we look around and go, could this really work? And if so, what are the things I might use or might need that could actually make this work better for me instead of just kind of trying to get by? And so since we're the same sort of people, we're doing this too, right? We're all at home like everyone else. We kind of looked over this and wanted to talk about the things that we use primarily, okay? So we're going to kind of recap a little bit on each one of these and then wrap it up. A couple of things you want to have, you've got to have some must-haves. The first thing is a laptop. Whether it be a Mac, yay Apple, or Windows, yay Microsoft, it doesn't really matter. They both work. Your company's probably going to give you one. So whatever you got's awesome. All of the stuff that we're going to talk about works with all this stuff, Mac or Windows. You need a smartphone. It's either going to be iPhone or Android, okay? That and a little bit of internet, whether it be cable, DSL, 5G when it's up. Yeah, Linux too, but yeah, normal people don't do Linux. Normal people that want Linux buy Apple. So, all of this stuff, it's really just the three things: a laptop, a smartphone, and a solid internet connection. You can get a lot done with that. And most of us already have it. It may not be really dedicated to work. It's probably, shared with, everybody else in the house, and that's awesome. But it's not that big of a deal. Those are the three things you've got to have. So once you've got that, then the choices kind of open up on what you want. So if you're just an individual, or you're a small business, maybe, that you don't want to invest a lot in hardware, a lot of upfront cost, cloud computing actually gives you a chance to get into this stuff without having this huge upfront expense on equipment and stuff. So some of the stuff that's big about cloud, everything lives in the internet. As long as you got an internet connection, you can get to everything you need, whether it be documents, whether it be your voice, whatever it is, it's there. So it's there wherever you go. Cloud computing stuff syncs across every device you have, across your smartphone, whether it's iPhone or Android, on your laptop, on your desktop. So no matter what you're on or where you're at, you can get to it. And most of this stuff really works the same. Like your iPhone, most of the apps they work exactly the same as they do on your Mac. And so that leads to the third thing: you can actually use it anywhere. So if you're home, if you're at Starbucks, which just went to Starbucks for the first time yesterday, although it was a drive-through, um, this stuff works. You're going to see a client, you pull up in the parking lot. You've got 10 minutes because you're there early. You're trying to get something done. You're pulling down a new contract out of Salesforce, right? You're making an addendum. You're getting it ready for signature. Any of that stuff, that whole sort of thing, the cloud makes it possible. And really, there's not another way to do it without the cloud. Those kind of things are possible, but only possible with cloud computing. So to me, that's one of the primary things that you're going to want. A couple of examples, right? Microsoft OneDrive comes with Office 365. Most of you guys probably already have it. Probably the most ubiquitous out there, right? Salesforce is another big one. Okay, especially if you're in sales or ops or anything like that, where you deal with a lot of clients, a lot of people use Salesforce. Apple has iCloud, which is awesome. Most of us use that as individuals. We use iCloud at home, and we use Microsoft OneDrive at work. The other things that are out there are Google Drive and Amazon or Amazon Web Services. Those are all out there too, and are very much usable. Honestly, I think Google is just as good as Microsoft and Apple. I don't see as many people using them, but it's awesome. I mean, it's got the same stuff. So once you've got cloud kind of wrapped up, and that's how you're getting your stuff back and forth, you need to be able to talk to some people like we're doing now. Okay. So Microsoft Teams and its counterparts, things like Zoom, things like FaceTime, right? Oddly enough, not that many people use FaceTime for this. Everybody's either on Teams or on Zoom these days. And there's two or three others, okay? Google's got one. For the life of me, I can never remember what the name of the thing is. Probably because I've changed it like 5 different times in the last month. But there's a bunch of these things out there. GoToMeeting, like we're using now, is awesome for what we're using it for. But these quick collaborations where you've got video and audio, where you actually want to see somebody, Teams, Zoom, FaceTime, these are awesome for this. The biggest thing about them is that they're easy to use, they work, and you don't have to have a class to figure out how to use the darn thing, right? You want to be able to see somebody, talk to them, get the stuff done, and move on with what you're doing. That's really yeah.
Mark Squared, Chris Oatenbaker, welcome everybody. I just wanted to share really quick some insight that we had this week. We hosted our client advisory board, a virtual version of it, and we had 6, high-level executives from various customers across the BullsEye platform. And the invite went out to everybody in a Teams format, and I was a little trepidatious in regards to what the response would be. Was there going to be any connection issues? Everybody was supposed to sign in 10 minutes early, and everybody was there at exactly 11:50 or 11:51, before we started. And these guys are on Teams all the time. One of the guys even said that he's actually a little bit less efficient right now because there's so many web Teams meetings that he's on, but everybody's using it. It's worked super well. So, anyways, I just want to provide that feedback.
It's, really, I think maybe years ago, you would have rolled out some kind of video conferencing thing and it would have just flopped. And a lot of them did. Zoom is hugely popular now as an example, but it wasn't hugely popular 6 months ago. But a lot of that popularity in Teams as well is because of the ease of use. It's not because of all the buttons that's on it or all the features and all this stuff. It's just the fact that you can actually get the thing to work when you want it to. You guys are probably like us, you've struggled with some of these things that, you fiddle with it, and then you just give up and everybody quits using it. This is not that sort of thing. Besides the conferencing, though, there's messaging. We're all used to texting each other on our phones. But honestly, my family, we'd rather text each other than call. You can't even get my daughter to answer the phone hardly. It's just the way people are. It's instant, it works. It doesn't have to be real time. It can be asynchronous. And we're very used to it on our phones, but at work, we don't always have that same flexibility or the tool. Teams, in our case here at BullsEye, that's what we text with a lot, because it works on your iPhone, it works on your laptop, it works on your Mac. It's everything that we got in our hands. And the point is, they're sure to see it. They're not going to miss your message, and that's the key. The last thing about Teams and this stuff, collaboration. I'll be honest. We were a little stiff on this when we first started. We were awkward with it. Didn't use it a lot. We tended to email each other a PDF or a spreadsheet or something like that, and that was kind of what we did for collaboration. So that's what we were used to. But yeah, and it is one half step removed from faxing somebody something from the 90s. But as we've moved into this, and because these tools are so easy, what we've begun to do is we'll throw up a document in a shared space or a collaborative space, and then we'll all be able to look at the same thing, edit the same thing, real time, and see what everybody's doing. Hey, buddy, my big white dog over there is about to. You may even see. Yeah, there he goes. He's looking out the window now. If you can see his tail in the corner of that and wagging.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, bud. So, the collaboration part, we throw all this stuff up in these shared spaces, and then we're able to walk around them at the same time. We're not having to go back and forth and back and forth. And it seems kind of odd that it would make that much of a difference, but it actually saves a lot of time. And more importantly, we don't have errors in communication where, you want to email in somebody something, and then you got to call them to explain your email, right? We don't have to do that. So we're using these tools to get that point across. Past Teams, though, once you've got kind of your cloud environment going, you've got your Teams or your collaboration environment going, there's good old VoIP. VoIP is not left at Voice over Internet Protocol. Sorry, acronyms, right? If y'all can hear my dog, I apologize. He's a little bit anxious. He's a rescue. So with VoIP, the big thing about it is, and by the way, Teams is VoIP, right? That's how the audio works. That's what's actually occurring. But the things that we do that are hosted, okay, where you've got basically it's internet voice in the cloud, which is what we do. The big good things about it, lots of devices, iPhones, Android, laptops, Macs, desktops, iPads. All this stuff works on this sucker. So whenever you go out, you've always got your phone with you, in essence, right? And it's your work phone. It's not your personal cell number. That's important because, whether you're the person doing the work or you're the person that owns the business or manages the business, you kind of want some separation there, okay? And for obvious reasons, right? if you're the owner of the business, you kind of want to preserve that communications link or entry point to your business. You don't want it leaving if that person leaves. Consequently, if you're the person doing the work, you want to be able to separate, when the day ends, that there's work and there's home, right? And one of the best ways to do that is a VoIP number. You put it on your iPhone, you put it on your laptop, work calls, it rings, you answer, you're all good. End of the day, you turn it off and you're good. So that's the power of this stuff. The last part of it is it's all internet based. So as long as you've got an internet connection at home, as long as you've got an internet connection on your smartphone, which you always do because it's with you, it will always work. Smartphones are great for this because they've got Wi-Fi and 4G, right? It's hard to go down with a smartphone in your hand. In fact, of all the hardware devices you've got, the smartphone's probably the most critical. You can do without the others more than you can do without it. Hey, bud. Okay. Security. Once you've got this stuff kind of going, you got your home office working, you don't want to forget about security. And what we're talking about are 2 or 3 main points here. There's antivirus, which we all know if you've got a Windows, laptop, you're constantly inundated with these viruses. And it's not because it's any less secure, it's just because there's bajillions of Windows laptops out there, right? So if you're going to write a virus for something, it's the best bang for the buck for the virus people. So you want to keep up with this stuff, right? You need to stay protected. The other thing's a firewall that keeps people from coming in. It's like a lock on your front door, right? Keeps people from coming in and taking over your system and using it as basically a bot. The last thing that's really critical is an intrusion protection thing, kind of in line with the firewall, but a little more sophisticated. So these 3 things are the 3 main points of security. There's a lot more, right? But as we look at security services, specifically things like Zscaler, like Sophos, and there's a bunch more out there. I mean, there's Fortinet, there's all kinds of stuff, right? Sonic walls, if you used to buy those, lots of stuff you can choose from. But they all have these common things that they do, and you're going to run into them over and over and over. One of the biggest things for us that we like about them, though, are the ones that are cloud-based, like Zscaler and Sophos both. And we like them because they're cloud-based because it doesn't matter where you take your laptop. It doesn't matter where you take your iPhone, okay? The same protection that you've got sitting in your home office is the same protection you've got sitting at Starbucks or at a hotel where you're traveling for the week, okay? So whether you're the knowledge worker that's carrying this stuff, or you're the business owner or the leader who's trying to decide what's good for your people, to me that's critical. To be able to have the same level of protection without having to have an IT staff to run it of hundreds, expensive piece of hardware like you might put at a branch office somewhere, right, where you had a couple hundred people. Those things are great for that purpose. But for an individual or people that move around a lot, cloud's a whole lot more flexible. And in my mind, it's maybe not, better's a strong word, but I like it better, okay? But for those reasons. So that's really, so cloud, VoIP, collaboration, teams, security. The last thing is SD-WAN. And we've been talking a lot about things that help for individuals, like just me, like here at my home office, I'm the only one here. And we've been talking, for large groups of that kind of people. SD-WAN can enable a home office. In fact, the SD-WAN box that we use from VeloCloud is really awesome for that. I mean, it's got built-in firewall, built-in Wi-Fi. You just plug up an internet connection to that thing and you're ready to go, whether it's a 1-person office or a 50-person office. It's fantastic. But the real power of SD-WAN besides that is it is literally pure networking magic. It takes all the hard stuff that you might have done before with like Cisco routers or Juniper routers, all this stuff, MPLS networks, point-to-point links, T1s, all this stuff, and it wraps it up in basically magic, networking magic. and it makes it all work without you having to mess with it. You take any kind of internet connection, be it cable, fiber, DSL, 4G, 5G when it's ready, right? Plug it into this SD-WAN box, and that sucker will not only make a network for you, but it'll also make it resilient and redundant. It'll use 4 or 5 different connections. Whatever you've got to plug in it, it'll make it work. You can go site to site, whether that be 5 sites. Let's say you had, I don't know, maybe dentist office, right? Or, a takeout place. It'll go site to site right there, okay? Easy. When we're doing the SD-WAN, part of what we bring to this, because you can buy SD-WAN in a lot of places, we actually set this up for you, make it work, watch it run in the background, take care of it if it breaks. So if you ever have a problem, you're calling BullsEye or us, and you're not necessarily having to figure it out all on your own like you would have been had you gone out and just bought a bunch of routers together. So one thing to kind of show how the flexibility of an SD-WAN network, besides just, like 200 of us could have gone home with SD-WAN routers, and we could have had an instant network. The other thing you could do, you ever think about like, hey, anybody ever own like 5 or 10 of these food trucks that drive around? You see them out the beach a lot in the summer. You can hook all those up with an SD-WAN box and a 4G connection. All your credit card stuff goes out. Comes out through one spot, comes in. That kind of stuff is a little bit out of the box, something you might not necessarily think about. But the point is, these boxes, these SD-WAN things from VeloCloud, they're so easy, they're so powerful that it takes all of that difficulty away, and you don't have to mess with it. You get to think about, okay, I just want to run my business, and I don't necessarily do networking for business. That's kind of what we do for a living. And SD-WAN is one of the biggest tools.
We have a few questions.
Yeah.
So first one is, when it comes to Teams, what does BullsEye do for Teams?
What do we like? Oh, what do we offer?
Yeah.
So what we're doing with BullsEye right now is, and I may say this the wrong way. The biggest thing about Teams is you've got this, you've got the collaboration, okay? But if we're talking about what does BullsEye sell for Teams, is that kind of what they're talking about?
I think that's where we're going.
Okay. That's kind of a tough one in a way, because it'd be easy to say, oh yeah, we sell lots of Teams. But as you guys know, that's not really the way it works, right? What we're looking at doing, and we've had it in the lab forever, we're actually using it ourselves, okay? And if I'm not mistaken, we're on the cusp of rolling it out, is one of the missing pieces that Microsoft has for Teams, and that's the ability to take an external phone number and dial into a Teams conference, okay? It's there in Microsoft, but it's clunky. And if you want, if you want 1 from Microsoft, it's not too bad. If you want 20 or 100 or a couple thousand, it's honestly pretty rough to get stuff from them in that environment. So that's kind of what we're trying to do for people, is bring our expertise with the voice background that we have, the broad south that we run our VoIP on, the things like our UC client, all the UCaaS work that we do. We're trying to bring that same experience over to Teams, and not necessarily supplant or replace the things that it does, but actually add to it for the parts that Microsoft really hasn't rolled out for free, okay? Teams is pretty much included with a lot of stuff. So the client's there, that's great, but they are missing that ability to dial in. Kind of like this meeting, right? If you didn't do video, you just wanted to call in because you're driving on audio,
Yep.
It's not always easy. That's the piece that we're trying to bring into Teams for our clients, or basically the missing link. Does that help? I don't know if that was a good answer.